Feel that weight? That heavy, dull ache in your chest? That's not normal exhaustion. That's the feeling of a life refusing to move. You are stagnant. You're floating, not sailing. You've convinced yourself that you are just taking a break, waiting for the right opportunity, or figuring things out. But deep down, you know the truth. You've been sitting in the same mental and emotional spot for too long. Your career is coasting. Your relationships are comfortable but passionless. And your body is slowly, quietly degrading. You're watching life happen to you instead of for you. This isn't a temporary lull. This is a chosen inertia. You've become addicted to the predictable comfort of the familiar, even if the familiar is slowly suffocating you. Here is the first brutal truth. Your stagnation is not caused by a lack of motivation. It's caused by a fear of loss. You are terrified of losing the perceived security of your current situation. You fear losing the approval of your friends if you change your habits. You fear losing the comfort of your current relationship, even though it brings you little joy. You fear losing the identity you've built, the safe person, the reliable one, the one who never rocks the boat. This fear of loss, of comfort, of identity, of approval, is a far more powerful motivator than the desire for gain. You have mentally calculated the cost of change to be higher than the cost of staying miserable, and that calculation is fundamentally flawed. You are sacrificing potential joy for guaranteed low-grade suffering. Think about your relationship patterns. Why do you tolerate partners who are clearly holding you back or demanding your energy without reciprocating? Because deep down, the anxiety of being alone and having to face your own untapped potential is worse than the drama of a dysfunctional relationship. That drama keeps you busy, distracted, and feeling needed, which is a perfect excuse for not focusing on the brutal work of self-improvement. Your stagnant relationship isn't an accident, it's a co-conspiracy for comfort. You both agree, on a subconscious level, to stay in this holding pattern so neither of you has to evolve. The moment one of you starts moving, the relationship will break, and that is what you fear most. Not the loss of the person, but the loss of the distraction. The shocking realization you must face is that your inaction is a form of massive self-betrayal. You have dreams, skills, and potential that are begging to be used, and every morning you choose to ignore that inner voice, you are teaching yourself a dangerous lesson. I am not trustworthy. This continuous self-betrayal erodes your self-esteem far more rapidly than any external failure ever could. You don't fail because you lack ability. You fail because you've convinced yourself you don't deserve the effort. The small but powerful mindset shift is this: stop waiting for a massive leap and start honoring the tiny daily movement. You don't need a 10-year plan or a complete life overhaul. You need to identify one single, tiny action that represents movement away from your stagnation. A 5-minute focused task, one page of a difficult book, a single phone call you've been avoiding. The goal is not the outcome. The goal is to reestablish self-trust through micro-actions.
Your life isn't stagnant because of external forces. It's stagnant because you have prioritized comfort over courage. Break the inertia. You're still mentally negotiating the terms of your surrender. You're telling yourself that you'll start moving when you feel ready, when the timing is better, or when you have more money. This is the endless loop of the self-saboteur. The truth is, you will never feel ready. The feeling of readiness is not a prerequisite for action. It is a consequence of action. You must act first, and the feeling of momentum will follow. The longer you wait, the heavier the inertia becomes, and the more profound your self-doubt grows. Here is the second brutal truth. You have become addicted to your own excuses. You've built an elaborate bulletproof narrative around why you can't, why you shouldn't, and why it's not the right time. Your mind has become a professional lawyer, defending the case for your current mediocrity with tireless dedication. You feel a strange sense of competence and control in your ability to perfectly articulate your reasons for failure. This is why you love to talk about your problems rather than solve them. The talking gives you the satisfaction of action without the risk of actual effort. This addiction to the narrative of "I can't" is the actual barrier to your growth. It's not an external force. It's an internal monologue you refuse to mute. Let's look at your attraction dynamics. Stagnation is profoundly unattractive. Driven, high-value people are looking for partners who are dynamic, who are actively engaged in building something, a career, a skill, a better self. They see your comfortable routine, your lack of curiosity, and your continuous complaining about the same problems, and they correctly interpret it as a fundamental lack of life force. You may be physically attractive, but your emotional and intellectual stagnation is a major turnoff. You are signaling that you are an energy drainer, someone who needs to be carried. You don't attract what you desire. You attract what you are. If you are comfortable settling for less in your own life, you will attract partners who are comfortable settling for less with you. The shocking realization here is that your comfort is your cage. The walls of your prison are padded with familiarity, predictability, and low expectations. Every day is the same, and while that lack of high-stakes pressure feels safe, it's robbing you of vitality. You've traded the thrilling possibility of achievement for the predictable misery of the status quo. You fear the discomfort of the gym, the discomfort of an honest conversation, the discomfort of learning a new skill. But the slow, creeping existential discomfort of stagnation is far more damaging. You are choosing the slow bleed over the quick, necessary pain of a surgical change. The next small, powerful mindset shift is to treat your stagnant life as a leaky boat. Stop trying to pump the water out, i.e., treating symptoms like a bad mood or a lack of motivation. Start identifying the leak and plugging the source. Identify the one key habit, the one toxic relationship, or the one reoccurring thought pattern that causes the most emotional or temporal leakage and decisively eliminate it. Don't worry about the 10-step plan yet. Just stop the bleeding.
Stop confusing efforts with momentum. You are busy, but you aren't moving. That stops now. You've reached the point where the fear of staying the same is finally starting to outweigh the fear of change. This is the only shift that matters. You have to be more disgusted by your present state than you are afraid of the path forward. Here is the final, ultimate truth. The life you want is not hidden in a grand, undiscovered secret. It's hidden behind your small, daily laziness. The people you envy, the ones with the great careers, the secure relationships, the healthy bodies, are not genetically different. They simply do the uncomfortable, boring, small things every day that you choose to skip. They chose the 5 minutes of physical discomfort over the comfort of the couch. They chose the 3 hours of focused work over the 3 hours of mindless scrolling. Consistency is the engine of change, and stagnation is merely a failure of daily consistency. Think about the compounding effect of your choices. Your life didn't become stagnant in a single day. It happened through 1,000 micro-decisions to prioritize ease over effort. If you reverse that, your life will not suddenly explode into perfect action, but it will begin to accelerate through 1,000 micro-decisions to prioritize effort over ease. The choice to put your running shoes on, the choice to say no to a time-wasting invitation, the choice to speak an uncomfortable truth to your partner, these are not small actions. These are acts of defiance against your own inertia. The final mindset shift is to adopt the identity of a mover. Stop identifying as the person who wants to change and start identifying as the person who moves. A mover doesn't wait for motivation. A mover doesn't analyze indefinitely. A mover acknowledges the fear, labels the required action, and executes without negotiation. Your emotions will lag behind your actions, but your new identity as a mover will be forged in the fire of consistent, uncomfortable execution. Your life is not a documentary. It is a live action simulation. Stop watching, stop narrating, stop waiting. The path out of stagnation is one step wide, and you must step onto it right now before your mind can talk you out of it again. Move.